Hello everybody, Kizilla here. Welcome back to another episode of Super Robot Wars V. So in the last episode, we went through the first scenario, meeting our player character, Murakumo Soji, as well as the crew of the Yamato, led by Captain Juzo Okita. At the end of the last scenario, we were allowed to board the Yamato after fending off an attack from the Gamillans, only to be detained. So, I want to go ahead and explain this, this menu here that you see. So, first of all, this is the intermission menu. And you will come here after each scenario. You will be allowed to do a number of options. First option is pilot list, which just allows you to see, hey, these are your pilots, these are all of the abilities that you get. Then you can check out your mechs. You can search for specific spirit commands, skills and abilities, skill program. So this is where you can teach pilots various new skills. One skill I always really like is the Proud Ace skill, because that reduces the amount of kills needed in order to get a pilot to Ace status. Next we have customization. So this allows you to spend money to upgrade your robots and weapons. I highly recommend focusing on upgrading the Vangre first, and any unit that you want to upgrade to 5 bars in each stat first in order to unlock its custom bonus, which basically is just, this gives special bonuses to that unit. Options is for game settings. Skill tree is where you can use tactical points to develop new programs. You can also develop parameter skills, and should you obtain special skills, you will be able to attach them there. Power parts is where you can equip your units with what are called power parts. Now, because I have all of the DLC, I got some extra power parts and in-game stuff. So I will give you the V circuit, a force reactor, and let's go with the V crystal for you. Oh, you can have those. DLC allows you to either enter the eShop or go to bonus scenarios that you may already have. These 4 right here will not be available until later on. And save and load are just, hey, this is how you save the game, this is how you load it. So, with all that said, special scenario, Galvanizing Hope. So this is the pre-order bonus special. That actually became available, I believe, with the release of the Switch version without having to pre-order it. Anyways, that's all we know about the stowaways, sir. We don't have time to deal with them right now. They're to be handled by security until things calm down. Yes, sir. This all seems a bit suspicious, doesn't it? Timing, I mean. Why come aboard now? I was thinking the same thing. Piloting a humanoid weapon, no less. Battles with the Gamillans are driven by fleets and battleships. Packed agile fighters have always been at the center of space battles. But humanoid weapons do have a firepower advantage. If they prove as effective as they seem, that does open the door to incredible tactical possibilities. We can debate this all we like. The fact remains that the Yamato is not in possession of humanoid weapons. Ah, they must be these last 2 entries on the manifest. What's strange is that there weren't any crafts like that in the hangar. They will catch up to us in due course. You will exit the atmosphere shortly after. Commander! Gamillan fighters spotted near point 1202. They're heading right for us. Seems they caught wind of our plan. What are your orders, sir? they'll be aiming to cut off our reinforcements. Speed up, Shima! Get us to point 1202! Roger! Increasing forward thrusters. Those reinforcements are Earth's last hope as much as we are. We have to protect them! I heard there was someone else sporting the Yamato. That must be you. I believe you're correct, seeing as I was at the rendezvous point. I'm Charlotte Hastings. Just call me Lottie. At Grungust. I'm aware. Excuse you? The Grungust. A weapon concept built solely in pursuit of power and versatility. Designed and developed by Nicola Wilhelm's Labs America branch, it's equipped with the ability to transform from humanoid form to aircraft and tank forms. Its power exceeds all extant weaponry, which necessitated a large, atypical design. That custom design hinders mass production. It has been deemed super for both the size of its chassis and to call attention to its own peculiarity. Whoa, hold on a second. How can you know all these things about Grungust when I don't even know your name? Pardon me. I've fallen prey to my bad habits again. I am Veltlav Text. It's kind of long, so just call me Velt. I developed this Huckebein when I was on the research staff at Nicola Wilhelm's Labs HQ in Germany. A researcher and a pilot, huh? No wonder you know so much about Grungust. Now that we have dispensed with formalities, allow me to tell you about the Huckebein. Huckebein is also powered by the very black hole engine that drives your... Shh! Something's coming! Gamillans! Their combat units equipped with machine guns and missiles, best suited for ground combat. Now returning to my description of the Huckebein, which she so rudely interrupted. Say what?! The Huckebein has been called a radical reimagining the Earth Federation Force's weapon of choice, the mobile suit. Unlike Grungust, Huckebein is built upon designs already in use by the EFF, making it easy to maintain. This confers a large advantage. That being said, a number of innovations have increased its firepower beyond compare, making it worthy of the Super moniker. Except it's a real robot. Huckebein turns conventional wisdom that humanoid weapons prize maneuverability over firepower on its head. Yeah, I get it. Now let's get out of here before we lose ours. I wasn't finished. Are we experiencing the same situation here? The Gamillans are right in front of us. Neither the Grungust nor the Huckebein are in the enemy's databases, and will not engage until they have thoroughly investigated. So you're saying we can launch a preemptive strike? If we're being optimistic, then yes. And for an egghead, you really know how to handle yourself in a fight. You're rather crude, aren't you? I merely assessed the situation at hand and chose the most appropriate course of action. Baloney. You acted on intuition in the end, just like me. Which is why you should have followed my lead in the first place. Hindsight is always 20/20. More importantly, we should not squander another golden opportunity. Now that's a strategy I can get behind. Let's go, Velt! Very well, Lottie. Gamillans, we shall not yield to you. Our machines are Earth's last great hope. We're not going to take this lying down, you hear me? So, special scenarios are scenarios that do not count towards the main story and can happen at any time. Meet Velt and the Huckebein. Huckebein carries the hopes and dreams of everyone at Nicola Labs and all the other survivors. We shall make safe passage to Iskandar for the sake of the victims. For the sake of all who would never get Huckebein and myself this far. The Huckebein is a real robot. This is about the time that I should probably explain classifications. So, there are 3 kinds of unit classifications. Real, Super, and Battleship. Real robots are stuff like the Huckebein and the Vangre. They are small, but they are fast, they pack a decent punch, but they do not have a lot of health. They are best used with spirit commands that increase their dodging capabilities. On the other hand, meet Lottie and the Grungust. Alright, Grungust, let's go. Our battle starts right now. We're fighting to revive the Earth. We're pulling out all the stops now. It's Iskandar or bust. The Grungust is a super robot. These things have a lot of health and armor, allowing them to tank a lot of attacks. However, they often require a lot of energy, but in exchange, they pack a serious punch. These are going to be your big damage dealers. However, they're not as fast as real robots, so be careful when using them. I am going to skip some stuff if nothing of note actually happens. But, essentially, these guys are going to be immensely helpful early on. So typically in a Super Robot Wars game, we'll either start off with a group of real robots before getting a Super Robot, or you'll start off with a group of Super Robots, and it's gonna be a bit until you can actually get real robots. But typically in the modern entries, your starting unit will always be a real robot. Now, does this mean anything? It can impact difficulty depending on how the game is designed. So, I mentioned this in the last episode, but we have EX actions. So each EX action will give you a big boost, but they require what's called EX counts, which are only obtained by either killing an enemy or leveling up. Also, this is new. Map attacks. So what map attacks are they are attacks that hit in a specific area. In exchange, however, they deal reduced damage. But that is the big trade-off for being able to hit multiple enemies at once. Also, Velt has the skill called Hit and Away, which allows him to move after he's attacked. Or after he attacks if he hasn't moved already. Okay, so Lottie's just got Fortune. Now, if you're curious about these units specifically, they were actually in previous Super Robot Wars games. Not Velt and Lottie, but the Grungust and Huckebein. A lot of units tend to appear in various Super Robot Wars games. However, the licensed anime are typically accompanied by originals. And there are Super Robot Wars games where there are no licensed anime, and it's just the originals. However, they haven't really had a new entry in forever, so there is that. The fun fact about this game, this was the first Super Robot Wars entry to enter the international era. Essentially, this is the first one with an actual in-game English localization, and even then it wasn't released in North America. It was actually released in the Southeast Asia territory, where you can import it to the rest of the world. As you can see, Lottie doesn't really dodge, but she takes a lot less damage than, say, Velt would. Another thing about dodging is that these games have what's called an evasion decay mechanic. Evasion decay makes it so that the more your unit dodges, the higher its chances of getting hit by an attack. Once it does get hit by an attack, the evasion decay resets. This is to prevent various real robots from being too overpowered by just simply dodging everything. Also, all units have what's called a size mechanic, or a size rating. The larger a unit, the less evasive it's supposed to be, but the more tanky it is. To the point that only the largest units will ever really take damage from other super large units, unless a unit has a skill called Ignore Size. Meanwhile, the smaller a unit, the more evasive it is, but the more squishy it is. And that is what also helps determine another factor between whether a unit is a real robot or a super robot. As for the third kind of unit, battleships. So this includes stuff like the Yamato. I will likely explain that in the next video, but let's see. So we can use Boost Dash, and you can use multiple EX actions, you just can't use the same one without making another move. And let's do that. Okay. Like a true American, she ran him over. That's my girl. Alright, we leveled up. Enemy annihilation confirmed. They appear to be acting autonomously. Phew! Looks like Grungust's first battle was a success. Time to put a notch in the win column. Huckebein was similarly fortunate. Hey, don't you think we'd make a great team? Our heavily armored Grungust is uniquely suited to the front lines where it can charge into enemies. Meanwhile, Huckebein can provide long-range cover and take care of any enemy aircraft who dares to escape your assault. Though the development of our machines took different paths, the balance is ideal. Of course, they also require our unique piloting techniques. As far as I can tell, however, this is optimal. The final piece of the puzzle is cultivating a high degree of cooperation. Hey, Dan. Apologies. Old habits die hard, as it is said. Don't worry about it. It's not like we're under attack right now. He's got quite the way of talking. I shall take that as a compliment. I still want a shorter answer, though. So let's try this again. Don't you think we'd make a great team? In other words, I'm in agreement. Okay then. I think we're going to make an awesome team, Vel. As do I, Lottie. Hey, that's a Yamato! Interstellar Cruiser Super Dreadnought class space battleship, ID number BBY-01, length 333.00 meters. It is notable for its main thruster. Okay, Mr. Encyclopedia, that's enough. We're getting docking instructions. The Yamato's going to be our home from now on, so we'd better not keep them waiting. Indeed. Lottie. Not now, Veltlav Tex. Charlotte Hastings. Well, both of you are on the manifest. I am the technical officer, Lieutenant Kodai. You've both been assigned to the aircraft squad, so I will leave you to Lieutenant Junior Grade Kato here. I am the aircraft squad captain, Lieutenant Junior Grade Saburo Kato. Welcome aboard. Thank you, sir. As we have no military experience, we look forward to your tutelage. Oh, I won't be teaching you much. The Cosmo Falcon operates a bit differently from your machines, though the tactical officer will be taking controls during battle. Pretty sure I saw a humanoid weapon over there. Judging by appearances, it looks a bit different from a mobile suit. What is it exactly? That's none of your concern. We may jettison it depending on how the situation progresses. Jettison it? Man, that would be such a waste! Based on my observations, however, it is an excessively armed machine that was forced to fly. In other words, a total failure. Weapons must, above all else, be designed according to their intended use. Apologies, Velt, but now is not the time for a lecture on weapons. Yamato will soon exit the atmosphere. Take the positions Kato has given you and remain on standby. Yes, sir. Don't take it personally, Velt. I'll listen to the rest of your encyclopedia entry. Thank you, Lottie. I am most pleased that you are the one piloting Grungust. I'll make the best of the situation, Velt. Otherwise, it'll be a long 336,000 light years. And that is it for this episode. I'll see all of you in the next episode. So until then, goodbye!